Tonight we're talking about all the letters in the case, the letters, the letters, the letters. And tonight's letter is the letter from Sandi Rzcuek to the DA. And tonight with me, I have Rose. Okay, so tonight, the letter I thought that we could, just the letter that I found the most of, was the letter. Do you remember the letter that Sandi wrote to... Oh, did I say that I'm Amy Williamson and you're Rosie? I don't know. I'm completely thrown off. If I did, then this is ParaWomenradio, and I'm Amy Williamson, and with me I have Rosie, and we're doing the Watts letter. It's Weird Watts Wednesday, and we're doing Sandy's
Shannan
letter.
Yeah.
Sandy's letter.
I can't say it.
To the DA district, Dave Baumhover. So, and I found out that I have been spelling the Rzcuek's last name wrong all along.
Oh, no. Oh, I don't even try it, or I just spell it like phonically?
Well, I Googled it, and that's what everyone was spelling it as. I spelt it, but now reading her letter, she signed it the way she signed it. It's
not the same?
Yeah, it's different. So I don't know.
No, this is a good one, too, because I've heard somebody read it, I think, like one time, and I thought that this was the way more real than Cindy's letter to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and when you read it, when I read it, you're going to notice that she writes it not like a letter. It's just like, it's very like, I don't know. It's almost like a text. You'll see when I play it.
That'd be so hard to write that letter too, I can't imagine.
Just so hard. So this was written, well, it's not dated either.
I can't see if it does have a date. Just says what?
I think it's just the the date when it was scanned, probably when it was scanned into evidence.
Oh, okay.
Because this comes right from the.
It's probably pretty soon after then.
Yes, it's very soon after, and I believe it was before sentencing, so that they could get an idea of what was happening. And I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I was just agreeing with you. Yeah, it was like a kind of giving a character of Chris, right?
Yeah. I think it was like Chris's life with in the beginning and how they perceived him.
Yeah, and I think it says a lot that she talks a lot about his family, because I think Sandi thinks that it was kind of Cindy pulling him apart a little, Yeah,
I think she definitely blames them for a lot of this, or some of this.
Yeah, because if Cindy wouldn't have been so pissy about things and goaded him, well, that's just what I'm assuming, if that has no fact behind it. I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I'm feeling, that if she hadn't have been so adamant against Shannan, in the first place, that maybe it wouldn't have went down like this, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Okay, she goes into Attention Dave Baumhover. In 2009, Shannan built her house in Charlotte, North Carolina, battling her lupus. Her friend told her about her cousin, Chris, saying he is a very nice guy, quiet, etc. So Shannan got a request from him on Facebook. Months later, she called me saying, "Mom, I met a nice guy. He is a mechanic." I said, "As long as you're happy and he is good to you." I think it's interesting that in that beginning, the very beginning, she noted that he was a mechanic. And the mom is like, as long as he's good to you.
Right. He can have a crappy job if he's nice to you.
Well, I don't know, but a mechanic isn't a crappy job. Don't you?
Well, that's kind of how it said it, especially because he went to a specialized mechanical school. You'd think that would be a really good job. And I think it is a really good job, actually, in real life. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think Shannan just assumed that she was going to be with somebody who's even more successful, evidently. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think she was saying that it's bad that he's a mechanic?
I do. I think she was like, he's a mechanic, but he's great. And, he's so nice. Or do you know what I mean? That's how I'm perceiving it, but that's probably, it could just be how I'm perceiving it too. Do you know what I mean?
I perceive it differently, because a mechanic is not a bad thing. They make a lot of money. So for Shannan, I feel like she was saying he's a mechanic.
Oh, that could be it too. Yeah, because they do make good money. I was just assuming for some reason because she was at a car place or whatever, and she sold cars and she was an owner, you know what I mean? Or part owner of that place, So I was just assuming that she would think it was a step down, being as she seemed to be materialistic. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not talking to anyone. And I think, dude, I wish I knew a freaking mechanic. I think that's one of the most useful jobs, mechanic and plumber and electrician. Do you know what I mean? Like having those in your family is just a score. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you get if you're watching this? What do you guys think? Do you think she was saying it was a bad thing or a good thing?
Yeah, I'm interested to see because right now it's just 50-50. We need somebody to tie break in, but that's the cool thing about you and me is that we can have differences of opinion and thoughts and, but we can talk still like we're eager to know more and we're willing to change our minds.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I'm taking it wrong, then I mean, if maybe she's even said other things about it being a mechanic, but I take it as a good thing. But maybe you're probably taking it as a thing that maybe it wasn't a good thing because she said, as long as you're happy and he's good to you. Like,
yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because who knows if there was something in between in that conversation too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. I keep saying, you know what I mean? I'm going to stop that. But she kept saying in the conversation that, or I'm so sorry, scratch that. There's probably some of the conversation that we missed. And from what they said, that's just what like first popped into my head. But you're better at this stuff than me and like figuring people out.
I'm not better at it than you.
Well, no, you just have like, you see things differently than me. And sometimes you catch it and I don't, do you know what I mean?
Well, that's the good thing about it. Sometimes you catch it and sometimes I catch it. Maybe I'm just not catching it. I don't know.
No, I think you're probably right. Yeah. But I really love Sandi. You know, this is a really good letter, I thought. It made her look smart and articulate.
Yeah, it's just very interesting that she said he's a mechanic and that she's saying that Chris was a quiet guy.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's why she said as long as he treats you well if he's quiet. Or do you know that could be it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, help us. Okay, so going on a few months after that, Shannan and Chris had a family gathering and Frank, and his parents had a cookout. They were floored when they saw her house. Shannan was a hard worker and wanted this to eventually sell and make a profit to keep doing so, eventually be mortgage free. Comes from a family of contractors. See what I mean? Like that's just like comes from a family. It's like not quite.
Is that what Frank does? His contracts?
Yeah, I guess. And Shannan even said she came from a family of contractors. And when she does that one where she talks about the video where she finally opens up a little bit about her past marriage and that it didn't go well and that, she talks about her family and that she didn't come from money. She comes from a family of contractors. And that's surprising to me too, because I know that contractors don't make a huge amount of money, but they make good money when they're working, but like that's another thing. Like I thought contractors, they make a decent living. I don't think it's like
usually the contractor is the one who has all the licenses for all the workers and they manage all the different companies that come in and do all the things for the house. Mm-hmm. So I thought like most of the contractors that I knew, it was a really good job, so
and I know some contractors like my ex-husband who actually was a mechanic who made more money than I made with my degree as a mechanic, and his aunt's husband was a contractor and their house was beautiful. So I don't know.
Oh, yeah. And Shannan's house was amazing. The one in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Or, was it North or South Carolina? North Carolina. Yeah.
Charlotte, she said that they built her house in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes. Yeah. That house is so nice. I love how like, if you've seen like her dining room area, she has like her bright purple decorating it. Mm-hmm. I think that's the area, but you could just see like the similarities in the houses and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, her dining room set that she has in that house, they sold to go on one of their trips.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that's why they had that little table.
Yeah. And then they bought that. They have a video or something where she was showing that little table. They bought it from a family or something.
I like the little table. That way it can be in the kitchen, versus you don't need an extra room to eat. I like to eat in the kitchen anyways.
Yeah, that one room was the purple room, which was my favorite room, was kind of a wasted room.
Yeah, it just was like an extension of the living room, but it didn't really have seating or anything. And I would have at least put some kids' furniture or something, Yeah,
I think they used it for the kids to run around and play in. It was like the downstairs playroom, but
Yeah, that's true. And it's a good area for them to run into.
Yeah, I love the videos where they're running back and forth.
Now there's going to be new kids doing that.
Yeah, I know. I'm so shocked that I haven't been able to find too much information on that new family. I literally only saw a photo, and I don't even know if that's like.
The armchair detective talked to the realtor, I guess.
Oh, he did?
And said that the family really didn't know too much of the situation. They knew the basics, that a situation had happened, but they didn't know any of the details. Of course, nothing like the Watts followers. No.
Did
Do you know
he take
what I mean?
it upon himself to contact them? How did they talk to him?
I don't know. The armchair detective got a hold of him somehow. I'm curious. Well, and then they have those Facebook posts too, where the family, the realtor is. There was one where the realtor was tagged in it, and so maybe that's how they somehow found the other page or whatever. I'm not sure.
Very strange that they barely knew about it.
Well, I would be telling my family all about it if they didn't know. So I don't know.
I wonder how they feel about it. I guess that's another show for another day.
Oh, I know. I hope they do a big interview or something. You know what I mean?
All those people are jumping all over themselves to try to get it the first interview. So
right. I would love to talk to them. I'm a peon, but I would.
I asked a girl to come on the show, and because I am a peon, she was like, I don't think so. I'll just watch you, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, you know what? I dealt with that when I did my show like years ago, and I struggled with feelings of like being used, because I would like catapult people, and then they would just like sprint and like never look back. And so I felt like, well, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I just deleted her. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to even like put myself in a position like that again.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's important to support small creators. And
I think so too.
And I'm a small creator.
Like if you want someone to help you, help somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, she could have just been wanting to wait, and I don't know. Anyway, I'm just not going to deal with. I'm not going to like internalize this kind of stuff anymore. And my way of like not internalizing it is just avoiding it, like because I'm on here to promote myself as well as others. Like if I promote you, I'm not going to ask you to promote me, but I mean, shouldn't you or couldn't you? Would it hurt you?
There's this one person that I've been watching, and they're almost to 100,000, but they've become from a sassy person who makes fun of the way people look to, somebody else who's just above and beyond, like way, way nicer. And it's weird. Do you know what I mean?
Tell me who you're talking about. I don't know who you're talking about, but yes, I know.
I will after this.
I'm not a fan of people that change once they grow. I mean, of course you have to change. You have to grow and change, but I don't know. I'm always someone. Okay, so when Parawomenradio was, when I was doing it like every single Thursday for 3 years straight, when I was doing it back then, and I was growing myself, I was doing 2 creators. I was interviewing two people a night, not creators, but it was just people that I found interesting. And I would do 2 a night, and I would layer it with a popular one, like a really big one, and a lower one, because I mean, that's how you help people grow. And that's how the really popular ones grow, because the smaller people that don't quite know about them yet, they find them, and it gets in the algorithm, and it just helps 2 people. And I would never ask for anything in return. And I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm going to from now on say, hey, this is our live, if you want, this is how you can advertise it, or you can do that. I'm gonna tell them what I want. I can't expect people to know what I want if I don't tell them what I want. So I'm also going to be more vocal about what I want. So sorry for taking off on that tangent. There's always something in our lives that later I'm like, oh, I wish I hadn't said. And this is probably going to be one of those.
No. Well, when we talk about things that are abstract and,
Yeah, nobody would have
only our opinions and don't even exist in the whole first place. No.
Yeah. So getting back to the letter, she says, comes from a family of contractors. Then she says, so Shannan was eager to please his parents, waiting on them hand and foot. When Shannan left the back porch and it was just me and Chris's mom, she leaned over to me and said, Shannan was married before? I said, yes, just like your daughter was. Then a while later again, when we were alone, and she said, I just don't see it. I said, what? She said, I don't feel or see that your daughter, I think she's about to say, loves my son. Loves my son. I knew she was going to be a thorn in the marriage because my mother-in-law was the same way. How do you literally take it when somebody leans forward and says, I just don't see it? And they're talking about your daughter.
That's like a straight up insult.
Yeah.
That's one of those things. If you think it, you never say it.
Well, see, the thing about Cindy Watts is I believe she says a lot of these things to people and people don't say anything back to her, and she's used to it.
Yeah. And so she doesn't realize how offensive it is because nobody calls her on it.
Yeah. And then she got called, and I'm sure she was completely offended by what even Sandi saying, and so is your daughter. You know, your
right?
Married too.
Was she not thinking about that? That was a perfect comeback too.
Mm-hmm. So every time we had a cookout, we had a cookout. His mother and sister were very quiet and distant. We weren't accepted. Is she saying accepted?
Yeah, we weren't accepted. They made that known.
Oh, it's just the wrong. Okay, we weren't accepted. They made that known. Okay, I thought accepted. I thought okay, she meant like something else. But okay.
Oh yeah.
It's
accepted
just
instead of accept. Yeah.
So forward to engagement party. Shannan and I shopped her food, wine, etc. Spent a lot. See what I mean? Like it's just very text. It's not like we spent a lot.
Yeah, and how much the hell did they spend on food and wine and stuff? It must have been a big party.
Oh well, it was an engagement party.
Well, I guess I just didn't have that many friends when I was getting married.
Yeah, mine wasn't that big either. Spent a lot. Jamie, Chris's sister wanted, it's just very hard to read because it's not proper English, I guess. I'm having a hard time. Jamie, Chris's sister wanted all the invitations so she could help. So Shannan told me, Mom, Jamie wants to help. Send out the invitations. What do you think she is expecting me? Do you think she's accepting me? Accepting me. Sorry, guys. I'm going to get her to do it. So this mom and sister prepped food and cross-contaminated everything. So Shannan couldn't eat any of it. Gluten-free, nothing. Everything was made with gluten.
I would have been so pissed. I'm gluten-free. I would have flipped my shit in front of everyone. I would have humiliated them because, and I'm not that type of person, but like, I love my food. And if I'm really excited about a whole spread of food, oh my God, I'm hungry right now just thinking about a spread of food.
Yeah, I know I'm hungry too right now. I'm a little hangry too, actually.
Right? Me too. I got a grumpy little bumper around here. My son woke up on the bad side of the bed or something.
I woke up on the bad side today too.
It must be one of those days.
It must be. Do you want to read some of it?
Well, the problem is I actually wear glasses and I can, if I get really close, I can kind of.
I'll just read it. So where was I? Okay, so let's just go back and so I can read it. So Shannan told me, Mom, Jamie wants to help. Send out the invitations. What do you think do you think she's accepting me? I'm going to let her do it. So this mom and sister prepped food and cross-contaminated everything. So Shannan couldn't eat any of it. Gluten-free, nothing. Everything was made with gluten. So thank God I made lots of food. I brought, at least my daughter could eat. You know, she's the type of person that brings food to things. So, yeah.
I should have thought about that a few times.
Yeah. I am trying to go gluten-free with my fibromyalgia.
Oh, maybe that'll help.
Yeah, it's supposed to help your pain. So Shannan couldn't eat any of it. Gluten-free, nothing. Everything was made with gluten. So thank God I made lots of food. I brought, at least my daughter could eat. So as the night went on, Shannan and I went to the bathroom and Shannan told me, Mom, I had like 80 invites and only immediate family came. So Shannan called people the next day to learn that they never received an invitation. Shannan was devastated.
I would have been too.
I know. I would have thought, where is everybody? But I think I also would have been like texting people during it, like, where are you? Are you coming? Like there would have been specific people.
I would have done. I think I would have done that too.
Yeah, that I was looking forward to coming and talking to them, and I don't know.
Well, and I would have been like, who all RSVP'd? Yes.
Oh, Angela's here. Hi, Angie.
Hi.
Oh, look
You
at
guys have
that.
to subscribe to Angela. Her channel has the best skincare stuff.
Amazing skincare stuff, and so concise and easy to understand. But she says, me too.
Angela,
I love concise as
you
well.
can't wake up on the wrong side of the bed. You're our shining smile, girl. We're counting on you.
What is a day when Angela's on the bad side of the bed?
Right? It's just slightly towards that side. No, I'm just kidding. I hope you're doing good, Angela.
Yeah, I hope you're feeling better. Angie and I are working on a live, our next skincare live. So this is Shannan. This is she was devastated. Nothing was cooked properly. Shannan and Chris were upset, so they knew not to ask again. Wait. Then came the wedding. No one from his whole family came, just his grandmother and uncle. No mom, dad, sister, aunts, and cousins. No one came. That would be like devastating. That to me.
I know. And that, how sweet is his grandma for going?
I know. Very. Was his grandma?
Like,
was it
I'm going
on his mom or dad's side? Was it on his dad's side?
I don't know. Actually, I've never thought about which side, but I thought that
dad's side
that was sweet.
Shannon, I don't think Cindy Watts got along with her mother-in-law.
Oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Chris spoiled Shannan and vice versa. They were so in love. They were a great team. They moved to Colorado and lived with Shannan's friend for 1 year while they were building their house. Everything was great. Shannan saw something on Chris's private parts that didn't look normal. They went to the doctors, cancer, so it was removed. She saved his life. Do you believe that Shannan saved his life? Do you think that was cancer?
Yeah. I've known actually a couple people and I grew up in a small town, and there was two people I went to school with that had issues with testicular cancer. And if it was something like on the skin, imagine, you know how like if you get melanoma, if you don't get it taken care of, that it gets worse. Maybe it was something like that.
Mm-hmm. And you think he didn't tell his mom and dad because it was embarrassing to him?
Yeah, I think he would probably pissed if she told him, his parents. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, they did, and they said that they don't believe this happened. So that's why I'm asking.
Oh.
Yeah, they don't believe
I would believe her. Why would you? Like, that's a pretty extravagant lie.
They don't believe it happened because Chris never told them. That's why they said they don't believe it ever happened because Chris never told us. And that's why I'm asking you, do you think Chris, because he was embarrassed?
Yeah, I think that's probably it for sure.
Yeah. Okay. See, private parts. They went to the doctor. She saved his life. Then Shannan got pregnant with Bella Marie. Everyone was so excited and happy. Shannan and Chris were wonderful parents. Chris and Shannan were working at the Ford dealership in Longmont. Shannan was selling cars. Chris was the head mechanic. A great team. Was he the head mechanic?
Oh, I am not sure. I'm so sorry.
I never heard he was the head mechanic.
I didn't think he was the head mechanic there because somebody else got him a job there. You know, like, not that I
know. How would he become the head mechanic so fast? Although he might have been the head mechanic so fast because he had his degree.
Well, and one of his friends worked there and helped him get the job. So who knows? It could have been
like leaked right over his friend that helped him get there. I don't know.
Well,
I do feel like Shannan and her family kind of like exaggerated things maybe more than they were.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because I never heard he was the head mechanic, but maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I had never seen it. I'd always had it referred to as like he formerly worked at, Longmont Ford or wherever.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Chris was the head mechanic, a great team. Shannan was top sales. I believe that because she was such a salesperson.
Oh yeah.
Then Bella
sold a lot.
Yeah, she could sell. Didn't Chris say she could sell an igloo to an igloo? To
the Eskimo and sell the clothes you were wearing right back to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he said that. Shannan was top sales. Then Bella came, so Shannan stopped working because of a high-risk pregnancy. She stopped working. She was a trooper through the whole thing. Both families seemed happy. Chris's sister never flew to Chicago at any time they were out there. Yeah. That would have hurt my feelings if my sister.
Right. Well, and maybe
it did hurt my feelings. My sister came to two things at my house when I lived like an hour and a half from her. I lived there for 10 and a half years, and she was there twice. Yeah. I was always expected to come to them because I moved away from them, which an hour and a half.
That's crazy.
Does anyone else have family like that? You move away and you're expected to always come back to them, even if it's only an hour and a half away. And then when she did come, it was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Get out of here. I'm so tired. We had to stop. And it's like, okay.
Well, and I never had a big enough house for family to stay anyways. So I never had to worry about that.
I'm looking outside my window. I try to see where my luck goes. I just don't know how it's lit out. There must be some kind of black hole in this house. Every person could be you though. A pretty guy with a halo. But who am I kidding, please now? I gotta realize that you have fallen out. So I'll take my chances tonight. I gotta choose fight instead of flight. It's really amazing how you got me treading on you now. Many beautiful faces, but they're not going. I just don't know how. You're a chemical in my heart, like a chemical of black art. It's really a wonder how you got me. I am struck by you. So understand what we could do around the world, say to Peru. We lie in bed till it's PM, eating breakfast when it's dark again. Oh, let us be partners in crime. You and me as Bonnie and Clyde. We'll dance along in the afterglow. We'd be a song on the radio. Oh. So I'll take my chances tonight. I gotta choose fight instead of flight. Here I am painting angels on my walls to keep me company now that you have gone. And I know that it is true. Every rainbow holds some blue within its pretty walls. A little shade of you. Now it's another day, planting daisies in my backyard. They look so pretty, standing tall